Well, you might have heard the term digital divide before. It's certainly an issue of internet access here in America.
And while 87% of households have access to a computer or smartphone, only 73% have access to the internet. Here to talk more about this and what's being done to close the divide is Kwikbit CEO Joe Costello. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You know, this has certainly been a big issue for the last couple of years. We've been dealing with the pandemic and reporting in the cities about how just kids wouldn't have access to remote schooling. And, you know, we forget, like when we're talking about, oh, what do you want to binge? What do you want to this? That there's a significant portion of the world out there that doesn't have access. And you think there's ways to really cut through that?
You know, absolutely. And it's one of those things. Our internet infrastructure has been getting shoddy slowly but surely. It's been creeping up on us. It's kind of like a car that you've had maybe 5 years too long, right? It's not, you know, you're starting to worry about it. And what happened was the pandemic completely changed this, you know, because you might have had this nagging worry that my internet wasn't that great. Then the pandemic comes along and I'm completely dependent on the internet for everything that I do, for my entertainment, like you said, but more importantly, your kids go to school on the internet. You do things like the Zoom call to do your work. You get all your information, you buy your groceries and everything else online. You can't really survive in our society without a good internet connection today. And it put in stark relief the fact that, wow, over the last 20 years, our internet infrastructure just isn't meeting the challenge of what we need today in terms of the broadband speeds required to function in today's society.
And Joe, talk a little bit more about that, because our internet infrastructure, obviously, it connects a lot of us, but it misses the mark in other areas and places that we might not even think about. We have well-developed areas across the country and then underdeveloped areas in terms of that internet infrastructure. So where are those places and why are they so underdeveloped?
Now, it's interesting because there's 25% of America that really doesn't have any decent internet connection today, which is crazy when you think about it. We're the most technologically advanced country in the world, and here we are in 2022, and 25% of the people have no good internet connection. But it's even worse than that. In fact, today, if you think about the internet, high-speed internet, everybody talks about the answer is fiber. You've probably seen ads on television or people promoting it. Fiber, fiber, fiber. That's the gold standard for great internet connection. That's the future of the internet. Here's the scary fact. Only 20%, 1/5, 1 out of 5 houses in the United States has a fiber connection today. And they've been connecting with fiber for 25 years. So in 25 years, we got 1 out of 5 houses connected. That's the solution to high-speed internet. It's not going to happen anytime soon. We've got to come up with some more creative solutions. Otherwise, we're all going to be suffering from this digital divide, not just the 25% that have terrible connections today. Everybody whose internet connection is degraded, where you go, it's not that great. I'm having some trouble. It's going to be big trouble over the next few years if we don't fix this.
So immediately people think it might be those who are disadvantaged or don't have enough money, but it's not just that. It's actually the infrastructure. And the White House is making this a priority because it's part of the Build Back Better bill. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the good news, you pointed it out, the politicians, I think their heart's in the right place. They've got the right intentions. We got a problem. And as is usual, they say, well, let's throw some money at it, which is, again, it's a good idea. Heart's in the right place, but is it going to go to the right things? The federal government's talking about $65 billion being put into this. State governments around the country are putting another $20, $30 billion. Like $100 billion is going to go into this. First of all, it's probably not enough money to fix this problem because the problem has gotten too big over the last 20 years. We didn't do something about it. But second, the really scary part is I don't think they're going to put the money in the right places. What's happening is the traditional carriers, the guys that have the fiber and all of the people that are creating the current infrastructure today are lining up with their hand out. Okay, we'll take some money. But in 25 years, they've only got 20% of our houses connected with high-speed fiber. How is that going to solve our problem in the next 5 years? I don't think it is. We've got to start thinking more creatively. And that's what Kwikbit and a number of companies like ours, these are new companies that started in the last 5 years, focused on new technologies that have been developed over the last 20 years, but only became commercially available in the last 3 or 4 years. We do, for instance, a wireless connection, super high speed, not Wi-Fi, it's 10 times faster, super high speed wireless connection that you can get people connected in 30 minutes, not 3 or 5 years, right? So these new technologies, I think, are what's going to be required if we're going to solve this problem in a meaningful time frame.
Okay. I hope you can fix my Wi-Fi on my third floor. We'll have to look into it. Thank you so much for being with us.
Wait, what?
All right. Well, thank you. We look forward to more connection in 2022.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.